Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the YESCAR Truck Series as we are here in Dover, Delaware at the Dover International Speedway. That's right, the Monster Mile, and this thing is, well, it's as scary as Miles the Monster, and he's going to be watching over this track, and I'm sure going to be collecting the remnants of some of these trucks out here tonight. But good news for these drivers is that it appears that the damage is turned off, so maybe expecting it to be a little rough and rugged out there tonight, but we'll see how the drivers here of YESCAR Truck Series handle it out there. Joe Sullivan joining me in the booth here tonight. Joe, Monster Mile here is, it can get tricky. It can eat you up very, very quickly.
Yeah, this is not one of my favorite tracks. It's really, I know it's like a 1 mile track and you know, both corners are pretty much the same, but man, like you said, this track just eats up tires, and you have to really conserve the tires here, and it's just really hard to do because it seems like no matter what the car is, the race here, it's hard to get a good balance of the car and to be able to conserve those tires. So it's so banked. I mean, the straightaways are banked. It's just a really unique track, and one that I haven't really got a hold of, and to be able to save those tires and put some good runs down here. I mean, fresh tires are always going to be king here, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. And as you said, the damage model here, the damage being off, so another thing to keep an eye on and see how that plays out here tonight.
The NASCAR Cup Series has come here at least once every year since 1969, and twice from 71 to 2020. But in addition to NASCAR, the track also has hosted USAC and the Indy Racing League as well. And I'll tell you what, I would not want to even think about running open wheels here, USAC, let alone the Indy cars. That had to be some scary racing out there. But this is a track that has a racetrack within a racetrack, but it's not built for cars on the infield. It is harness racing. That's horse racing on the infield. You see it right there on the infield of this track, and very unique. And it was designed that way from the beginning. From the outset, it was designed as a dual-purpose horse and motor racing facility with the harness racing track on the infield. But it has not always been concrete. The changes came in at 1995 when the asphalt track surface was torn up and replaced with concrete, gaining the track a short-lived additional moniker of White Lightning before it was switched over to the Monster Mile. But it's been a interesting season so far, to say the least. And we'll bring up the standings here real quick and show you that it is Tyler Helzel leading the way over Jonathan Tuckness, Jeff Byers, Maxwell Shade, Chris Gutierrez, your top five. Then Chris Melton, Matthew Hott, David Duke, Corey Sherman, and Francisco Villarreal, your top 10 in the points heading into tonight. But it's tight. It's tight for a lot of those positions. I mean, it's really the top 10 kind of separating itself. It's a good gap. It's a good 18-point gap from 10th to 11th. But, I mean, that can really be erased in just a week or two. So this thing is far from over deciding our playoff drivers. But Joe, we're getting mighty close to that playoff run.
Yeah, we're starting the back half of this regular season. So, and with some wild card tracks coming up, next week is Talladega. It's one of those tracks that anybody can win on. You just got to be at the right place at the right time and capitalize. And then Martinsville is going to be they're going to be a real fun one. So and then you got your 2.5 miles Texas and Las Vegas to end the season. So. The chances are running out for some of these guys to get a win and to get some more points to get themselves into that Final Four playoff run.
Chris Gutierrez, your most recent winner last week at Kansas, but other than that, it's been Tyler Helzel grabbing a few wins, Jonathan Tuckness and Big Duke grabbing the initial win at Dover. They have locked themselves into the playoffs, so 4 drivers locked in so far. Still got 6 more spots to be decided, and in practice, it was looking like we may not have the big names up there towards the front. I mean, there was only one of the locked-in drivers up there in the top 5 in practice, but they found a little bit of speed here in qualifying, and it looks like it's going to be Tyler Helzel on top of the boards. We'll get the qualifying results up here in a second. Just trying to get the SDK to work here correctly. There we go. Now we get everything cleared up and up there.
Sure I wasn't on it. There we go.
Nope, we are good. We're good here. But yeah, we'll see if we can get our 5th different winner out here tonight. But the drivers are done with their qualifying, and we'll take a look at qualifying results. On top of the board, it is going to be Tyler Helzel by 0.036 over Big Duke, Captain Killam, Maxwell Shade, Francisco Villarreal, your top 5. You got Charles Aber, Matthew Hott, Chris Melton, James Wagoner, Riley Romeo in your top 10. Scott Gilroy, Paul Lawson, Tyler Bryan, Chris Gutierrez, Austin Smith, I Tuckles, Joshua Delaha, Vincent Pagano, and Kevin Martin, Timothy Wright making up your top 20. Michael Funkhauser Jr., Keith says yes, iRacing side, Jonathan Marsh and Scott Boyer rounding out your 25 car field here tonight. Drivers are out there pacing around, and we'll take it on down there. Looks like we're not going to go green this time by. We're going to go green on the next time by. Maybe a little of a shake-up here, and it looks like maybe Chris Gutierrez looks to be going towards the back, so maybe a penalty here to start the race after last week. So the 47 going towards the back of the field, but at the front row made up of winners, Joe, and all these drivers are going to be chasing Helzel and Duke, and man, that 16 has been tough to chase this season.
You gotta believe it's going to be crazy here. Obviously,
Joe, you're really low. Not sure what's going on with your mic.
I'm low?
Nope, there we go. Now it's back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the 16 starting off pole here, and I obviously already running several races, so the guys are going to have to find a way to get around him. And then obviously Big Duke up there, a winner already this season. So if one of these other guys want to get their number gold like these other guys have, they're going to have to find their way around some of these guys who are already gold, and at a tough track like Dover. So 80 laps on tap. We'll see how this thing plays out.
Well, we are set to go green at this time by. Again, it's Tyler Helzel, Big Duke on the front row, Maxwell Shade, Captain Killam on the second row. And the pace truck lights are out. It's going to be in the hands of Barney to get them set off on their way. 80 laps on tap here. And I'm not sure if the extra pace lap is actually going to count here or not. But either way, we're going green at this time by. The pace truck is in.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air. We are racing at Dover.
Ooh, you guys getting loose on the start there. Some cold tires.
Yeah, Dover's certainly
this track.
certainly known for those tires getting a little sketchy on cold tires. Already mixing up here a bit, but a good start by Helzel and Duke. And Helzel will go ahead and lead that first lap.
This track is really wide in the corners. There's just no grip up there really to run, 2-3 wide. And plus these straightaways are, you come off the corner there and it gets narrow quickly.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you can get to the outside, but when you're coming off of turn 2 or turn 4, you don't want to be in that middle line or the top line. You need to be arcing down if you are. I mean, you can run in there. You see like Tyler Helsel kind of in the middle of the turn 1 that they're going through, but as soon as he gets to the middle of that corner, he's already starting to arc down to get down towards the bottom of that track. Because if not, that truck is just going to push straight up to the outside wall, and it's going to destroy it really good. Still trying to determine if damage is actually off or not. It looked like in practice the damage was off, but we're getting reports that maybe it is not turned off. So yeah, it'll be real interesting to see what exactly is going on here.
Yeah, it looks like somebody in the chat says it's not off, but watching practice, we're seeing several guys wreck, and then the truck just fixes itself. So, and I don't think you can change that for practice to the race that I'm aware of.
Now, I think it's either fully on or fully off, but either way, Helsel not getting away. Big Duke, 78, getting right up to his back bumper and trying to make a run here off in turn number 4. Not going to happen just yet. Captain Killam and Villarreal right there as well, looking to capitalize, but right now it is Helsel at the front of this field.
Oh, Myers into the wall. That's going to check up the 24. I would say these 4 were just about ready to check out from the rest of the field here, as Matthew Hott in 5th back there, just all by himself a little bit.
Battle back here just outside the top 10 as Kevin Martin is going to get on by Bradley Romeo. You can see those numbers in gold. Those are the drivers that do have a win on the season. And you see him right there in 1st and 2nd, and then back there in 13th to 14th. So big disparity here. But again, Chris Gutierrez started all the way in the back of the field, unless we missed something. A big bobble back there by Lawson, but it looks like he gets it saved. Gutierrez doing a heck of a job of driving straight through this field. And now tucking in behind Tuckles, no pun intended, as they're back there in 12th and 13th. It was a happy accident. Happy little clouds. Happy little trees. See some smoke on the front stretch. I don't see any kind of incidents.
Oh, we got one there, 23. Or not the 23, the 14 there. Down the inside, Pagano.
Vince Pagano having some issues down there on the bottom. Front Helsel still leads, but Big Duke all over his back bumper. And I'm not surprised to see this field that really kind of stretch out already and spread out. It's pretty much single file all the way through. And really we got a 4-car breakaway at the lead. It's Helsel, Duke, Captain Killam, and Villarreal here out to about a 2-second lead over the rest of the field. 5th place is Matthew Hott, Maxwell Shade, Charles Abert, Chris Melton, Tyler Bryan, and James Wagoner rounding out your top 10. But it's certainly a breakaway up here at the front, and Big Duke all over the backside just cannot get a good enough run to get around Helsel.
Yeah, these guys are fighting it loose off turn 4 big time. I mean, we see several wiggles out of these guys. And Duke he's able to get right to the bumper of the 16 there, but it seems like once he gets there, then he makes a mistake coming off turn 4 and gets it loose and has to gather it, and he loses a little bit of time, but he's able to run him back down as he keeps it straight there off turn 4, but he's got company coming in that 45 with Jeff Byers. Now, I'm not sure when the pit window is going to be, but this isn't, an easy place to do a green flag stop either. Like, this is, the transition from the track down to the apron is pretty aggressive, so you kind of have to watch yourself and not get the truck too bent out of shape, coming down to make a green flag stop. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for these guys here too.
Yeah, we talk about pit road and how much you can gain or lose on pit every week, but is there a tougher pit entry in all of racing other than Dover. I mean, Dover is just, it's death coming off of that high banking up there on the track, and then you have to drop down on the apron, and pit road starts, it creeps in through turn 4 a bit. It's not like it's, you know, after turn 4, it's just on the straightaway. It is in the, you know, the middle of 3 and 4 where you have to enter. You see him coming through the corner here. Right there is pit entry. So you have to get down on that apron, and you want to do it obviously as quick as possible, but man, it is a tough one to get into here.
Yeah, this dude got there to him again and got loose off turn 4. He seems like a broken record here. Ooh, it's the 24 under the wall going on the backstretch. Oh, we got a caution. Ooh, one spun right there for the leaders.
Looks like the 00 Jonathan Marsh getting involved in this one. That will blow us up for our first caution.
Yeah, just as we were probably getting close to a green flag stop, perhaps.
Looks like right in front of him, actually.
Yeah, and he checks up.
Keith Powell.
And just can't check up enough.
Hard impact in the inside wall. And I guess this will tell us right here, and you see right there. That's what you did there. And you see right there, it looks like the car. I don't know. Yeah, okay, he's back driving straight again. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like the damage is indeed off here tonight. Let's take a look at the, as you can see, yeah, you can see that truck took some major damage on the inside wall, but amazingly, all fixed up right now.
That's one heck of a pit crew.
Well, Jonathan Marsh, unfortunately, looks like he jumped into the pits. I'm not sure he missed the pit lane or what the case was, but everybody else did not miss pit lane. They are all in here. Everybody getting some service here. See those trucks going up. It is time to get this thing underway here, and see who wins the battle off of pit road.
Oh, the 24 is going to leap the 45. He's going to gain a spot. He's going to get that inside on the restart here, inside row number 2.
Pit road at Tyler Hauser going to keep the lead. Big Duke going to stay in second, but yeah, Villarreal going to jump up to 3rd place. Captain Gillen and Matthew Hawk going to round out your top 5. Maxwell Shade, Chris Melton, Tyler Bryan, James Wagoner, and I Tuckle is going to be your top 10.
Yeah, the 94 up to 10th. Chris Gutierrez starting shotgun on the field. He's up to 12th. We've seen these guys work their way through the field time and time again before. You know, Dover's going to be a little bit harder.
So if you're one of these,
passing.
Joe, if you're one of these drivers on the bubble, whether you're just above the bubble or just below the bubble, you know, there's still some time left in the regular season. You know, not necessarily, you know, win or go home just yet, but is it a fact that you know where the points are, where you can get the points, and especially clean races? You know, you mentioned before the start of the broadcast, you know, just kind of talking to me separately. If you kept the clean race the entire season so far, you'd be in 9th place with the bonus points that are out there. So, you know, at what point do you just kind of ride along here and try and get a good finish and try and collect points, as opposed to going all out there to try and get that win?
I mean, I think definitely the strategy is going to change. You know, if I don't have pace here, like you said, I'm definitely just hanging in the back. You know, I hate to you hate to race like that, right? But I mean, you also got to understand that it's a long season and find the end goal. You know, I mean, I don't know if you've paid much attention, but like how Denny Hamlin has approached the chase or whatever, how the road course deal where he just wanted a 20th because he's playing the numbers. You know, everything's moving to the analytic world. You know, baseball's done it for years now, and then you know football has transitioned to it, and then now it's gotten into NASCAR where it's all about the analytics and all about the numbers. And like you said, if I've raced clean every single race, I get those 5 bonus points, and I'd be in the top 10 right now without even caring where I really finished, you know, in the race. So I think if some guys can understand that, maybe they can approach these last couple races like that and try to leapfrog themselves into this top 10 so that you can get a ticket to the dance. You can't show up to homecoming and try to be the king without a ticket. So get yourself a ticket, show up, and then let's race it out, because there's 4 races in the playoffs, so anything can happen there. So I think if your guys one of these in the back, you got to kind of change the mindset and find a way to get that ticket.
I'm trying to say you just want to be one of the cool kids. That's all it really comes down to at the end of the day. You want to be one of those 10 cool kids at the end of the season and find your way in those playoffs. Well, we're about to find out what's going to happen here, as we're already down 20 laps already in the books. Only 60 to go here at the line. Helzel going to lead these drivers off on the restart here. Got to be careful for cold tires once again here on the start, especially at Dover. And it looks like the field going to get away nice and cleanly. Helzel going to slide up in front of Big Duke, cut him off going into turn 1. But Big Duke all over the backside of that 16 car. Villarreal going to slide into 3rd. Captain Killen there, Jeff Byers in 4th. Matthew Hott still holding on to 5th.
Tuckles got a great start. Holy moly.
Yeah, already up to 6th position.
Knocking on the top 5 door here. My man's not messing around.
Gutierrez also now inside at the top 10. Trying to make his way up here and trying to look inside of Chris Melton right now, but going to tuck back in line. These trucks look like they're planted pretty good and can get really racy, but again, it's very, very difficult to set up a pass, but looks like Big Duke maybe trying to do so. Now he backs out of it here going into turn number 3. Tries him out at another charge, maybe a little bit of a chrome horn coming out of turn number 4. He's going to have to fall back in line, and meanwhile, Villarreal closes in here from 3rd.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the turn 4 is going to be the passing spot here for Duke. He seems to be, a little bit faster than Tyler, but he just can't quite get to the door or get alongside him to try to even attempt a pass. We see him try to maybe come out of the line right there, but it just wasn't enough. And I wonder if he would be a little more aggressive on this restart here to try to maybe get it in the first couple laps.
Once again, we got a 4-truck breakaway as they pull out ahead of Hott one more time.
24 going high there, trying to get a run here down the front stretch. He was about 3 lanes up from what these other guys were. Maybe just trying something there. Seems like any kind of grip up there.
And that's the time to do it. I mean, it's still plenty early in the race if you want to try those different lines. But it seems like this is a bottom feeding track. That's where you want to be, and you really have to kind of get a good run off the corner and take away that inside line from the guy you're trying to pass. You see Helzel just
checked out again here at 2.5 seconds.
Helzel kind of dominating the corner a little bit here, going in low, drifting up mid-corner, and then dominating back down. You see up there the 24 at the top of the track once again, trying to get a good run off the corner. And man, he carried a ton of speed. So maybe just kind of getting some ideas and taking some notes here for later, as Big Duke trying to block it a little bit here, as it is close for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and they're dropping off Captain Killen here a little bit. Not sure if it's by choice or not. I think if I'm Captain Killen, I'm kind of backing out of this little battle here myself and just kind of waiting for what's going on.
Yeah, because they're getting awful racy, and these trucks are starting to slide around. So Jeff wants to give him a little bit of space here in case something does happen, so he doesn't get tangled up in it.
Caution, yellow
flag. We got caution on the track.
Speaking of tangled up, looks like the 17.
17.
Matthew Hott, 5th place driver.
Oh, he jumps to the pits. I mean, the damage.
Let's see what exactly happened here.
Tyler Bryan involved as well here.
Drifts up the track, and the 12 drifts up the track right there, and Tyler Bryan is the one that gets spun around here. The 17 involved. Looks like the 52 is going to be able to get on by on the high side. Dover is...
Wagoneer involved. Oh, hold the brakes. 12. 8 involved.
I think he is holding the brakes. It's just typically Dover is a self-cleaning track, meaning that the trucks will slide down towards the bottom, but not the case here as he slides up the track and takes out the 30 and the 8 as well. But again, damage off here, so the driver's able to get this thing spun back around, and should see everybody back out there on the track. But we do see everybody back in the pits. Joey, surprised to see another pit stop this early, and it looks like everybody grabbing some fresh tires. I mean, it's only been 6-7 laps maybe under green, as we've got a new second place driver. Villarreal's pit crew is doing wonders, as he has picked up now 2 positions over these last 2 pit stops.
Yeah, they're going to get ice cream after this race, that's for sure. Well deserved. Yeah, I wondered if now they're in the pit window to one more stop and they can make it. So I wonder if that was probably the play here. They probably were close with that caution that we had there, but now with them making at least 20 laps in that first run, we know they can make that. So with, well, no, there's 50 to go, isn't there? Okay, so, well, maybe they can stretch it here.
The math ain't mathing just yet.
No. I went to public schools.
Looks like the 12 going to stay out there, Tyler Bryan, to get his wave around. But Tyler Helzel is going to be your leader once again on this restart. And looks like we'll have another lap here under caution. Dover is one of those tracks that seems like it does have an extra 1 or 2 pace laps compared to everywhere else. So we'll get out there and have at least 1 more pace lap around here. So we'll get this thing going. We're under 50 laps to go, and once these drivers get going green here, the laps click away very quickly. Only 23-second lap times to get around here. So I mean, you're banging out damn near 3 laps a minute on this track. So it will go quickly, but we're under a second caution here tonight.
Yeah, Brian will get to wave around here and get these boys re-wrecked and ripping and rolling again. We've got Tuckles, he's up to 4th now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, not really surprised that our 4 winners on the season now running 1, 3, 4, and 8, all inside the top 10 after we've seen 2 of them starting mid-pack, and well, actually, one of them starting mid-pack, one of them starting towards the back of the pack, but they've all found their way to the front. Helzel leads them up. Villarreal still looking for that first win, and that's something else that we talked about pre-race. It almost feels like there's kind of 2 cars that are, trucks I should say, that are separating themselves from the field, and it just feels like Villarreal is kind of the best of the drivers that doesn't have a win yet, and Captain Killam and Jeff Byers kind of right there with him, but really just it seems like a matter of time before we see that 24 or the 45 in victory lane.
Yeah, and it may come to here tonight, and now that he's up there with Tyler, so we'll see what he can do with him. You know, maybe he's got something, you know, in his bag with those runs that he's been getting off turn 4 here. Like you said, maybe, you know, that was the time to try stuff and see if it worked, and it definitely works. So, you know, as hard as it is to pass here, you kind of have to do something outside the box, right? You can't just, you know, I mean, you can do the bump and run, I guess. So, I mean, that's always in the bag for some people. So,
we'll jump on board here with Chris Gutierrez for the restart of this thing and give an idea of how hectic, chaotic it is. And again, got to be careful of those cold tires on this restart.
Green flag, green flag.
Four getting a good start.
You can hear how ginger he was with the throttle there, and even early shifting it, just to prevent any kind of wheel spin, wheel hop.
Once again, this is the look that Tyler Helzel wants to see all night, and that is everybody in his rearview mirror. Villarreal now the new one in second place. Duke in third. Tuckles in fourth. Captain Killam in your top five. Shane Gutierrez, Melton, Martin, and Wagoner your top 10 as Villarreal gets ever so close to getting a run.
Yeah, that Ford, that F-150 is getting awful close.
Onto the backstretch, and Elzel, a little defensive move there on Villarreal, going to force him to the outside. And this is where that 24 has got a little experience running that high line now. Gives him a little shove off the corner and a little how do you do after the little bit of block on the backstretch.
Looked like he was going to maybe give him another shove there going into one, but gave him the room.
The run down the backstretch, it does seem that the 24 is a little bit racier, and there he goes. He gets to the inside. Can he hold that line? No, just not enough of a run. The 16 going to hold on for now. Big Duke sitting right there in third, just eyeing this up, and is all candy to him right now, just waiting for somebody to make a mistake. And you got to wonder if Villarreal gets to the inside, will he drag Big Duke along with him as Villarreal goes to the top to try and get a big run? But he's got Big Duke on the inside, able to get the run to stay in second for now. And again, maybe just kind of testing the waters. Still early in the race, just getting close to the halfway point and trying to see if, you know, what moves work, what moves don't. Run down the backstretch again. Not going to be close enough. He's going to tuck back in.
He's there, and he's clearly faster. I mean, whether Tyler's just, you know, running a little bit more defensive here and trying to save as much tire as he can. And maybe the 24 is just really wanting to get to that lead because he knows how important it is to be able to control these restarts. If he were to have another caution, or just maybe get that clean air. Maybe the clean air here is just really important.
You see the 24 back just a little bit right now, and I think Villarreal may have used it up just a little bit trying to get around in these first couple laps. He's maybe got to kind of calm it down a little bit, cool those tires back off, and try and make another run. But he's certainly got a fast number 24 out here tonight. He's gotten to the back bumper a couple times and getting very close to the back bumper again, coming off of turn number 4. Got to keep it off that wall though, and he had to turn hard just to do that.
Yeah, Duke's just hanging right there too. He's not letting these guys get away. Like the 45 was able to get around the 94 there. I'm not sure what happened with that, but the 94 has dropped considerably back.
Yeah, once again, a Ford truck breakaway. Until you got about 2 seconds back to Tuckles in 5th place. Shade, Gutierrez, Melton, Martin, and Wagoner still in your top 10. But out front, everyone chasing that 16 once again. Tyler Halzel having another good race here. He's led so far the entire night, but he's had some charges by Big Duke. He's had some from Villarreal, but I feel like Francisco may have used that truck up just a little bit, trying to make that early pass and get into that clean air. And now he's having to fight and hold off Big Duke right behind him.
Yeah, looks like he's starting to slip and slide around a little bit. It just kind of just goes to show you that he's hungry. He knows he hasn't got that win yet. And he's in contention again here tonight. And, you know, I mean, Tyler's gotten 3 of these things already. He's want to put his name up in there. He's want to get the gold number.
It makes you breathe a little bit easier knowing that you're locked into the show at the end of the season. Right now, Francisco's sitting in 10th place. He is the bubble man coming into tonight's race. And again, he's got that nice little 18-point cushion to 11th place there, Cat, who is not in the race here tonight. But the win just makes you feel so much better. It lets you know you can run with these guys, which he has been doing all season so far. Just has not been able to crack through to that top spot on the podium. And it looks like Halzel now has got that truck where he wants it and starting to drive away here a little bit. Almost a half a second lead here for the 16 of Halzel. Tuckles looks like he gets past Captain Killam, now moves himself back up into 4th position. I'll show you how that pass was done right here. Outside in maneuver off the turn number 2. Gets a good run, a little bit of draft, sends it to the inside. Easy as you like.
Yep, Jeff just kind of pulls over and lets him go. Jeff's pretty smart with that. He's, you know, he'll race you hard when it needs to be done, but when he knows somebody's faster, he'll just let him go.
Go back here for 15th position. That's Gilroy trying to mount a charge and get around that 60, just not able to do so quite yet. But up at the front, Tuckles now to the inside of Big Duke. That's the pass for 3rd position. So 94 coming alive here late in the run, maybe just kind of holding back, saving a little bit of tires. It is certainly paying off very nicely right now as it moves itself into 3rd. But out front, Villarreal is slipping back further and further. 0.9 seconds now, the gap from Helzel to 2nd place. And it may not be Villarreal for too much longer. Tuckles gets a good run out of turn number 4. Gonna peek to the inside, and he will send it into turn number 1 on the inside and move up into 2nd place.
Yeah, he's got one of them long run trucks. You know, some of these guys have short run speed, some guys got the long run speed, but you got this thing figured out for the long run here tonight. Like, he fell back so far at the beginning. Wondered if something had happened. Well in the wall. Or if something happened to the 94, but now he just letting those tires come in nice and slow, and he's reaping the reward here now as everything stay green here.
All of this, our drivers that are locked in now are 1, 2, 4, and 6. Yeah, you want to tell me that you've been dominant all season? There you go. There's your answer, as these trucks have been the favorite out there so far this season. But the highest one in the standings without a win is Jeff Byers, running around there in 5th place. And kind of, you know, I almost feel like he's really been under the radar. And that is this too, Maxwell Shade. He's had some moments, gotten up there a few times, but he's just kind of been consistent, clicking away, grabbing some points when and where he can. He comes in sitting in 4th place in the point standings and doing another good job out here tonight as Gutierrez is, just gets around him to put him back in 8th place, but just kind of clicking away here and having another good run.
Yeah, he almost stole that one at Phoenix. I mean, just a couple 100 feet and he would have a gold number. So the strategy almost played out for him there, and he'd be a winner on the season. But yeah, he's one of them guys who just like, you know, Byers, who hasn't got a win yet. Just fast, just not quite fast enough sometimes when, you know, when it matters. Almost stole the win there at Phoenix, but wasn't to be. So he's still gonna plug away and see if he can't find one here.
But Joe, I feel like it was just not long ago where we were getting ready to go back green, just under 50 laps to go. We're already down to 25 to go. This thing is moving along very smoothly right now under green, and it is Helzel now to a 1.5 second lead.
Oh,
very
man.
Close to contact right there. And there we do have a little bit of contact.
Ooh, did you get the barrels? Ooh, that was close. No caution. So
Yeah, Paul Lawson looks like he did.
make it to the pits. This thing almost looks like he's got a flat, right?
Yeah, that really does seem like what the case is.
Oh, my
Tries to come
goodness.
down, gets into Wagoner, and then
Oh, he did.
gets
get
into the
barrels.
barrels before he tows it in the pit lane.
That was really weird. It really did look like he had a right rear flat or something.
Yeah, the way that
If
truck was
iRacing
handling.
can simulate that, then this is the greatest thing ever. I wish they could somehow do that, like actually simulate a flat tire, but I'm sure it would be, hard to do.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it that maybe he stayed out there for quite some time and got that flat tire, and maybe with some bumps in the walls that got him that flat tire. But pit stops are underway. Villarreal in the pits. Big Duke, Charles Abert, Timothy Wright, Paul Lawson in the pits this time by as well. Waiting for our leaders to come in. It looks like Helzel going to stay out at least for another lap here. Tuckles, Chris Gutierrez, Maxwell Shea going to stay out also, but Captain Killam, Chris Melton going to come into pit lane, and you see how much time you're losing on pit lane. You're losing a lap, and for a lot of people, you're losing 2 laps on that pit lane just by coming in. So if a caution were to come out, you're stuck.
Yeah. And that's what, you know, the 16's doing here. I mean, he's got nothing to lose here. I mean, I'm probably staying out if I'm in his position right now and riding this thing out until I have to pit. You know, because if a caution does come out, we're sitting pretty.
Hey, see,
you know, a lot of these guys are going to be 1 lap down, and these dudes 2 laps down right now.
Yeah, and right now Villarreal just in front, threatening to go 2 laps down as well. So the 16 stays out again, and it is the top 8 right now that have yet to come into the pits. Helzel, Tuckles, Chris Gutierrez, Shade, Martin Wagoner, and that looks like Smith is going to come into the pits this time by, as is Boyer. So down to the top 6 that have yet to come into the pits, and now Helzel is slow. He is going to make that left-hand turn.
Look at this entry. Oh, man, it's so tough.
Aggressive entry in there. That was a good entry there, I think, for the 16. Tuckles and Chris Gutierrez is going to stay out there for at least another lap. So Tuckles now taking a lap lead here on the night. He's got about 4.8 seconds back to Gutierrez in second place currently. But right now, the top 5 are left out there without a pit stop.
And these guys are losing about a little over a second to a second and a half a lap to these fresh tires. So these guys with the fresh tires will be able to make it up pretty quickly, but we'll see how long the 94 stays out here and wants to gamble. Because now we're getting down to almost, I mean, we're 17 to go, coming to 16 to go. He's coming right now. Here we go.
Trying to get it wound up, and somehow gets inside the cones, or the barrels and the cone. That was extremely close. Gutierrez and Maxwell Shade, looks like the top 5 are all now in pit lane. Villarreal is not going to take the lead this time by. He's got to go around another lap, but it is Villarreal that will be your leader after this thing is all said and done. Somehow, some way, Villarreal gets it done here, pits 4 laps earlier than Helzel, gets him out there in that clean air. He's got to make that thing last for another 15 laps to grab his first win on the season. All kinds of tongue-tied right now, but Helzel is going to slide now into second, Duke into third. Looks like Tuckle is going to come out possibly in fourth, maybe going to slide back to fifth here. Yeah, Captain Killam gets on by him as well, so Tuckle's going to go back to 5th place, but Villarreal working that short pit.
Yeah, the 4 laps is the difference. I mean, they have the same, almost the same pit lap time, almost the same pit time, 14.6 on both of them. I mean, the 4 laps is your difference here. I mean, yeah, look at that, 14.6 for both of them. Wow, what a move, the short pit. Let's see if he can hold on to it here. But it's not going to be easy.
Taking a look at the total pit time there, that's from the entry pit road to the exit, and I mean, a slight little advantage by the 24. It was all gained on the short pit. That's really what it all came down to.
And they weren't right next to each other, right? I mean, he had a little bit of a gap there. It was about a second or so.
It was more than that. I think it was almost creeping up on 2 seconds. And
so
that's
almost 4 seconds on the short pit. That's almost a second a lap with these new tires.
I mean, you said it. You said how much these guys were losing. There's about a second and a half staying out there, and it shows right here. He's got a 1.8 second lead. It's coming down. Helzel is on the move. He is trying to dig and get up there. He wants another win. He's not full. He is still hungry, and he wants to get up there and get another one. We'll take a look at the lap times and show you the differences. And it's kind of ebbing and flowing as Villarreal gets a little bit better of a lap that time, and that's fine. He doesn't mind losing, a couple tenths here, a couple tenths there, because it is only 11 laps remaining in this race.
I know you've been in this situation before, Carl. You got 10 laps. You undercut the guy, and now you're just trying to hold on. Well, are you even looking behind you, or you're trying everything you can just to focus ahead?
Well, the undercut worked, if somebody brings out a yellow, they're getting an uppercut. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, right now he is absolutely in the catbird seat. 10 laps to go. Again, yes, the lead is coming down. He's losing, 2 to 3 tenths a second a lap, but Halsel's the one that's got to try and set up this pass. Right now, there is a lap car in between them, and that is Chris Melton in between them right now. So Halsel's got to get around the lap car and then mount the charge to get up to Villarreal. He is certainly digging, and he is dropping that time very quickly, but he's got to still set up that pass. As a big gain right there, 0.6 seconds, and that was all thanks. That was thanks to the lap car, giving him a bit of a tow, and now he's up there under a half a second behind. So this thing is certainly on for the lead. Now the question is, how much did Villarreal save? He's tried that high line. He knows what can happen up there. I still think you got to protect that bottom line. But how about Halsel diving into turn one? Gets him sideways, but what a save there by Villarreal. They're going to keep it going here. And now Halsel to the outside gives him another shove. Now we'll see what happens into turn number 3. It looks like Halsel is going to keep that position. An early bump and run for sure for Halsel, but gets him back to the lead.
It looked like the 24 was high, and then the 16 had a good run into the corner there, and 24 wasn't expecting it, so he tried to block it, and it was just a little too late, and now the 24 tires are cooked. I mean, they're hot and angry.
Tuckle's getting out there in front of Big Duke, just making a passer to move into 3rd place.
And that 16 was coming, though. He ran down that 2 seconds in like 3 laps.
Well, I don't think he's
what happened to the 24.
He's not safe for 2nd place right now, as you see the times that Tuckles and Big Duke have been gaining on him lap after lap, so we'll keep an eye on that. This thing's certainly not over for your podium spots, and you see him right there on the screen, very, very close, only 4 tenths of a second, and yeah, like you said, I think those tires are done for. He was able to get out there with that short pit, but they have fallen off the cliff, and that little bit of slide sideways did not help at all. Now Tuckles right back to the back bumper, gives him just a little bit of a nudge right around, and Tuckles now into 2nd. See if he has anything for the leader. You see he's been running faster laps. Again, Tuckles pitted 2 laps after Teller Halsel. So trying to make his fresher tires work to the end, but he ain't got much time to get this thing done. 2.1 seconds, looks like down to 2 seconds now, but it's down to 3 laps to go.
Yeah, he's going to need a little bit of help here to try to get into the 16 territory, but man, just a little, just so much close again for the 24 here tonight.
Big Duke still up there in 4th place. Captain Killam, another good run back here in 5th, but once again, they're all chasing that number 16. He had the pole. He left a ton of laps out here tonight. A short pit for Villarreal got in the lead briefly, but it's back to the 16 in the lead. 2 laps to go, going down the backstretch. Just going to be 1.5 miles left in tonight's race. Just got to avoid any kind of incidents, any kind of lap car issues. White flag in the air one more time around Dover.
Yeah, 16's found himself back into the lead and going to just drive away with this thing. I don't think the 94 is going to be able to get to him. But what another, dominating performance out of the 16. If he wasn't going to be able to run the 24 down, I would have been surprised. So
it is Tyler Halsel getting another win here on the season. Shaking it a little bit, coming down to front stretch. He is your winner here at Dover. Tuckle's going to finish in 2nd. Villarreal going to hang on to 3rd. Big Duke, Captain Killam round out your top 5 as, man, once they got going green here after that 2nd caution, it got done really, really quickly here. Those last 50 laps or so just flew on by.
Yeah, well, like you said, these laps will rip off once we get going. These boys were able to keep it clean and keep it green.
Once again, Tyler Halsel grabbing his 4th win now on the season. And really, it took him a little bit to get back to the lead there, but another kind of dominating performance here. As Tuckles pulls alongside him here before he does his burnouts on the front stretch. Well deserved for sure.
You know, maybe a better qualifying effort out of the 94. He could have had something to do with, you know, maybe had something for the 16 because he looked really, really strong on that long run there right before those green flag stops. And he worked himself from 5th up to 2nd there and was running down, you know, the leader there. So I think if we could have got a real long run, or if he could have started a little bit, you know, better, he could have had a better shot at this tonight. 16 putting on a show here for us. We gotta burn those tires off.
Get a rundown here of the full results. It is Tyler Helzel taking home the win. That's true, but that's still the qualifying results. There we go. There's the race results. Over Tuckles in second, Francesco Villarreal, Big Duke, Captain Killam, your top 5, Chris Gutierrez, Maxwell Shade, Kevin Martin, Charles Abert, Austin Smith, your top 10. And you got Brian Gilroy, iRacing inside, Delaha, Melton, Wagoner, Boyer, Hot, Romeo, and Wright making up your top 20. Pagano, Lawson, Marsh. Keith says yes, not a good race here for Keith Powell for sure. And then Michael Funkhauser rounding out your 25 car field, just trying to get these drivers all queued up and ready for their interviews. And we'll get to them here in a moment while we get a chance. I want to thank all our sponsors here in the series. Kohr Crab and Supplies, Keep Diggin, MVV Travel, Drop Gear Racing, GTR Simulator, Desert Rose Bow Company, Cookies for Kids Cancer, and of course, yes, our Keith says yes.com. Check them out over there in Hurricane, West Virginia, or Huntington, West Virginia. And mention the league here. Get yourself $1,000 off a new or used vehicle purchase. We got our winner in here, and it seemed like it was forever so we could get Tyler Helzel in here for an interview. And now he's the only one in there, up there and waiting, just trying to grab the other guys here.
Chat, so I think we can drag him in. There we go. There's Tuckness.
One of them.
Francisco up in here.
For some reason, it won't let me scroll up here, so we will we'll do this the hard way. We should try to. There we go.
There he is.
All right. So time to take it down to the track and get our interviews here. I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. Not sure what was going on there, but we got our third place finisher here tonight. Joe, why don't you go in and take the 24 of Francisco Villarreal?
Hey, Francisco, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you loud clear.
Hey, man, it looks like you may have pulled one off there, but that 16 was coming fast and hard. Did you just burn those tires off, or what on that last run right there?
It was mostly just my strategy. With Q, I didn't have the Q I wanted, and this track is clean air dominant. So I tried pitting early to try and get ahead and try and extend that lead, but I don't know if it was the weather or what. But these tires, they got cooked and fast.
Yeah, you didn't get the Harry Hyde specials at the end there. I mean, you were working your way up through the field there, all night, and then we were able to get to second there, and we're putting quite a bit of pressure on the 16 to try to get something around him. And we kept noticing you were doing a real high entry into 3 and off of 4. Was that something you were working on to maybe use as make a pass, or what was going on right there?
Yeah, because what was happening was the 16, he was throwing a couple blocks and protecting that inside line. Now there was one instance where I did try to bump and run him, but I'm not really that type of driver to where I'm going to wreck somebody or try to get around them. So what I tried doing was, I know that outside can get you a run on exit if you can kind of angle it right and have nobody on your inside. And I would head up there, cut it down to get a straight exit and get that run down the backstretch. But It just wasn't enough, and it did hurt the tires a little bit. That's why I only did it a couple times.
Yeah, you were able to undercut him there, and after that whole pit, cycled through, you had quite a pretty decent lead there, and we were wondering how you were able to get that, but it was just a short pit. I mean, pitting 4 laps earlier was like a second a lap, and you came out, you were behind about 2 seconds before the pit started, and then to jump out about 2 seconds in front of Tyler. But it looked like once you hit like a certain lap number, and then the tires were just gone. It was because he gained like almost 0.6 on you in a lap, and he hadn't really gained that much on you. I mean, he was maybe gaining a little bit here and there, but that one lap it was like 0.6, and it just seemed like the tires were cooked. And then after you guys got into each other and had a little bit of contact, it looked like from the angle that we had that you maybe had a high entry and then just were coming down, and he kind of was there. It didn't look from our angle too bad, but it just like you guys were racing for the same spot there, and then your tires were definitely cooked after that moment. But it was a great save to be able to keep that truck on, keep going there.
Oh, for sure. And I was expecting him to wait another corner just because he was going to have to send it in. I was still going for my entry. So I was expecting him to wait another corner, especially since there was a little bit of a distance. But overall, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with the race session that was different from officials, because in officials, I love this track. I can burn the tires down. And what I noticed is that the truck was extremely loose in dirty air. The back end was just kicking out or anything like that, but once you get a little bit of clean air, it tightens up. So I know Dover's a tire eater, and it's the Monster Miles, and it got me this time.
Yeah, we were noticing that out of the beginning of the race there with Big Duke. He could run up, and he was running second behind the 16, and he could run him down. But once he got in behind him, he kept getting loose off turn 4, and we kept seeing a bunch of trucks getting loose off turn 4. So it seemed like it was like you said, that dirty air was making these things real loose coming off turn 4, real bad. But you come away here third tonight. We keep talking about it. You keep knocking on the door to get a win and lock yourself in. But I mean, you're well inside the top 10 in points. But I'm sure you'd like to be able to, get a gold number here and be a race winner before we get to the playoffs to kind of build a little bit of momentum. Any tracks you're kind of looking forward to here as we get close to closing out this regular season?
To be honest, there are a couple tracks that I like. It's just I need some really solid green flag racing throughout the whole race to give me a chance. The strategy portion is what's screwing me up every single week. I end up making the wrong decision at the wrong time, and it's costed me last week. This week I should have waited a couple more laps. So honestly, there are a couple tracks I look forward to, but I really need to figure out my strategy.
So we're going to expect a new crew chief on the box next week for the 24?
I might just have to.
Don't fire the pit crew, because the pit crew got you a few positions for sure.
was nails
they were on point.
All right, well, congrats on the third. And before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to Duke and shout out to y'all for putting on the broadcast. Y'all, it's been fun. Ever since I joined, I've had a blast. The races have been entertaining. Shout out to Tuckles and Michael. They're the ones that introduced me to this. And shout out to P1 Racing. They always got my back. And yeah, I appreciate everybody that puts this thing on.
All right, well, congrats on the third, and we'll see you next week at Talladega.
That is your third place finish here tonight, the 24 of Francisco Villarreal. Second place tonight is going to be the 94 of iTuckles. Jonathan, a little bit of maybe a disappointing qualifying effort, and that could be really the reason that kind of maybe cost you the chance to win here tonight. You certainly had a fast number 94 at the end of the race, but it took you quite some time to finally get up there to really mix it up with these guys. Jonathan, do we have a copy? looks like we may not have Jonathan here tonight, so we'll go ahead and skip it at least for now. And Joe, why don't you go ahead and take our winner, Tyler Helsel, in the 16.
Hey, Tyler, you got a copy?
Yep, I can hear you guys.
Hey, man. Another dominating truck here tonight. Talk me kind of through your race here tonight, as you pretty much led most of it, and then you had to just kind of run down the 24 there at the end. Kind of just go through your night here for us.
It was this was one of my favorite tracks. I knew I was going to be good. At the start of the race, I was kind of just working on saving. Like I knew Duke was trying to get to me a little bit. He got me loose a couple times, but I kind of just made it to where he wouldn't get by me and just tried to keep it in behind me and maintain it at the same time, which I did. And then when we pitted and the 24 got to second, and he was really pushing on me and got me loose multiple times. And then I was kind of having to wear the tires out for him to keep him behind me, and especially when he was getting me loose and stuff. And then he fell off, and I was fine. And then I kind of just pulled away from there, and then Tugden's kind of second. And then we had that green flag stop. And I didn't really know what the 24 strategy was, so I was like half pushing it, half saving at the end there. And then I didn't think he was going to block me. I dove it in pretty good, and he kind of just chopped my nose off. So he got loose, and I let him gather it back up, and I hope he's not too mad at me for that. And then after that, I kind of just pulled away, and I was saving just in case we got to go to my checker.
Yeah, he said he didn't think you were going to make the pass in that turn. He thought maybe you're going to wait one more turn. So I think he just kind of caught him off guard a little bit there. And not that it was like a dive, but he was just kind of running his line there because he had like a little bit higher of an entry. Because I think he was trying to save, some tire of what he had left after that point. But he kind of undercut you there and had about a 2-second lead. Was there any kind of concern, or were you just like, I got plenty of time, we'll just get through the field here? And then as you were catching them, you had to get around the 52 as well. But that one lap, you gained like almost, I think it was like 0.6 of a second, and then boom, you were there. Was there any kind of concern to run him down, or was it just take your time and get there?
No, I think I definitely had some concern. I think I was like pacing myself a good bit, and I was gaining like 1/10 a lap, but I was still kind of nervous that he would just crank it up and start like evening out my lap times, and I was getting kind of nervous with that. And I just really didn't know if he took 4 or 2, and then I was pacing myself. I was kind of just letting the lap course stay in front of me so I didn't get in a wreck or anything. And then once I saw it was like 10 to go, I really started to turn it on, and I think that's where I gained all that time, like you just said. And I kind of just started really working it with like 10 to go. And yeah, I'm not mad at him for cutting my nose off or anything. Like, I'm not blaming him for anything, but I just didn't. I probably should have waited, but I kind of thought with how big of a run I had, and I kind of showed him that I was going to the bottom, and he still didn't block. And then he kind of just blocked last second, and it really just caught me off guard. And I tried to back out of it, but I hit him. And then I tried to let him get in front of me, and I would back it off and help him save it. And then we come off the corner, and I don't know if we got netcode or what, and it gave me a 4X. I'm not sure what happened there, but I really didn't mean to send him sideways like that. And I probably should have waited, but I hope he's not mad at me.
Yeah, it looked like real bad netcode there because you guys were right next to each other, and it just kind of sent him to another dimension a little bit, but it looked really weird. So definitely unfortunate to get the 4X there. But you were able to run him down here tonight and get yourself your 4th win on the season. We head to Diggin next week. Are you...
Enough said.
All right, just stop the question at that point. So we'll see you hanging around the back and waiting for the big one, or will you be up at the front trying to avoid the big one?
I mean, like, what I did with Daytona, I literally, like, I stayed in the back the whole time, and there was just wreck after wreck. I mean, there was one where I did not know how I got through it, but I didn't get in a single, like, contact wreck. I never had to use a fast repair. I think I had a 0X all the way up until that last lap where I was leading coming coming out of last corner, and I just got turned with Duke, and we made some contact, and that's where I got turned. But ever since then, I've been on the podium every single race. I'm just hoping that doesn't end, which it probably will, but we'll see how that goes.
All right, well,
too excited for that.
Congrats on the win here tonight. Before we let you go, anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, just Duke and Keith for putting all this together.
Right on. Well, congrats, and we'll see you at Talladega next week.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too.
That's your winner here again tonight, the 16 of Tyler Helzel, as he grabs win number 4. And I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where I get it. I understand. I mean, he's on one heck of a run so far this year. He's clearly got the talent to be on that kind of a run, but you always kind of have that in the back of your mind. When is this thing going to end? And with the playoffs looming on the horizon here, you don't want it to end anytime soon. I mean, I guess if you need to have a little dip, next week's probably the time to do it. I mean, next week's probably the time to just bite the bullet and have a bad race, and maybe he's just got to go out there and just purposefully have a bad race to just kind of shake it up here a little bit and get all those bad juju thoughts out and ready for the playoff run. But I mean, what a run the 16's been on this season.
Yeah, I mean, look out for. I mean, well, you know, anything can happen come playoff time, but you gotta believe he's, you know, the complete favorite going into it, right? I mean, boy, this guy is on another level with this right now.
I mean, it's the playoffs. The 4 races in the playoffs are pretty much as different as you can be. I mean, without throwing a road course in there, I guess, or a dirt track race. But you know, with Michigan, the big old 2 mile where you can spread out to 5, 6, 7 different lanes. Charlotte obviously is a track that everybody has got tons and tons of laps on, plenty of experience there. Indianapolis is kind of the curveball, if you will, in the 4 race playoffs, and then Homestead as the last race. I mean, Homestead it's a fast track, but it can be tricky. There's so many different ways that you can run that thing, and man, we still got to get through the rest of this regular season. I mean, we're only, again, not even close.
5 left.
Not even close. We still got 5 left here. I mean, this is only race number 7. 5 more races to go before we get our top 10 and we race for the playoffs. But I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in here tonight. It was a good one. A couple cautions out here, and then a nice green flag run to end this thing. And pit strategy certainly mixed it up here a little bit. Looked like Villarreal had a chance, but once again, the 16 prevailed. Thank you for all the sponsors once again. And we'll take a run through them real quick. Again, that is Kohr Crabbing Supplies, Keep Digging, MVV Travel, Drop Gear Racing, GTR Simulator, Desert Rose Bow Company, Cookies for Kids Cancer, and KeithSaysYes.com. That is going to do it for our broadcast here for the YESCAR Truck Series. For Joe Sullivan and myself, Carl Handwork. We'll see you at the track.